All right, I'm joined today by the one, the only Zak Cummings. Probably know him as a UFC fighter. He's also an entrepreneur, a promoter, a gym owner. Man, what is it there you don't do?
Rest.
Right on, man. Well, hey, you know what? You've been away from the game for a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what you've been up to the last year or so.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably the first interview I've done since all the crazy stuff. So, love you for that. It's kind of was like shut everybody out and everything, and just kind of deal with my own stuff. So, yeah, I was set to fight Sam Alvey last year around April, and then went to Denver. I was training for that, and just I don't know, man. One day in practice, I was having a ton of pain in my back and having just some stabbing issues. I didn't know what was going on. I knew something. I got in the car, and then like all of a sudden it just went. And I had a really bad disc injury, and it was basically it's kind of shut down on blocking my spinal cord and everything. I was like literally couldn't move. I was bedridden for 2 months. Couldn't do much of anything. You know, I couldn't teach, couldn't pick my kids up. God, it was just miserable. It took me a little bit to get into a neurosurgeon, and you know once they clipped it out, it was immediate release, you know, relief and stuff. But you know it's a big surgery and a lot of recovery. So I've just been honestly trying to get other stuff going while I've been recovering and stuff like that. So like the fight promotion and some other things. I mean, I had the gym and been able to just kind of focus on coaching and teaching some that, you know, what I can do. But we're finally getting back, to a little bit more of an athlete feeling and training more. And yeah, so the whole year's just kind of been recovering, dealing with this stuff, focus on just getting better mentally. It's been one of the hardest, you know, years of my life, honestly. I mean, I've had all kinds of injuries. This one, hands down, took the cake. It was terrible. You know, just couldn't do everything I love to do. You know, it was I mean, like I said, I run a fight promotion. I run a gym. You know, I train a fight professionally. It's like my life is this sport. And whenever you can't do hardly anything in the one thing that you absolutely love, it was hard, you know. And then normally when something goes bad, you try to, you know, fall back on, you know, home life or family. And man, when you got a 3-year-old not understand why you can't pick her up for, you know, 5 months, man, it was rough. It was rough. It was a look I never want to see in my kid's face ever again. You know, so it was a long year, but you know, got some other stuff going. Got the Apex Sports Entertainment fight show, the Apex Fighting Championships, whatever you want to call it. Got it going, and really enjoying that aspect of stuff. I mean, like the gym's doing great. I had a storage complex that I owned as well. I actually just recently sold it, and did kind of, you know, just messing with the real estate stuff as well. So yeah, I've been busy and doing stuff, but I'm happy that I'm finally able to kind of get back to the stuff that I absolutely love to do.
Man, it's almost like there's something in the water down there. You know, I mean, I think you and James and some of the other guys down there, those UFC fighters, have taken your money and put it in the right places and tried to make something with it. Is this something you guys talk about a lot independently, or is this just something that kind of it's a Midwestern type of mentality?
I know years ago when I first moved up to Kansas City, I kind of always had that mindset. Like I knew I got burned in the fight game early, and I realized like I went all in and, you know, thought things were going to go really well. I signed a big contract with Strikeforce and stuff. I got really burned from it. And I saw how this sport really is. You know, I saw that, you know, you're only as good as your last performance, and fights aren't guaranteed. You know, you think money is going to be coming in all the time or whatever. And it's just not. So like that happened pretty early in my career. And I learned that I need to be smart because I can only fight for so long. You know, this isn't an old man's game, you know, and, it's one of those where you need to take whatever you can make, and you need to push that for later on. And when I moved up here, James was very much similar in the thought process. You know, we both came from absolutely nothing, and we didn't want to do something in this sport and then go back to that same quality of life that we grew up in. You know, so we always kind of talked about like, you know, owning gyms or doing more stuff and be able to provide more for our families than what we had when we grew up. And that was kind of the main thing. And then just as the years came on, we always just kind of talked about things, and and then the gym started. Then I opened the gym, and then real estate kind of got in. So it's just kind of we started talking about it, and that was our thought process. So then as we're coaching, we're talking to guys, we're trying to push that mentality on these fighters coming up. You get these guys that are living fight to fight and everything, and then they get a fight and they blow their money on stuff they really don't need, and then they have to fight for money. And I just don't want anybody that I care about to have to rely on that type of stuff, and then you're taking bad matchups, and then all of a sudden you could be ruining your career. So by being able to set yourself up, we don't have to fight. If James never wants to fight again, if I never want to fight again, we don't have to. And that's been that way for years. We want to do this sport because we absolutely love it. And I love competition. I'm very competitive natured. So I didn't want to have to just take a fight because I was hurt, or take a fight because I wasn't ready, or take a fight because I just needed a paycheck real quick. And that was kind of the thought process with it. I've got the family behind me that, again, they kind of saw, and my wife saw how I got burned and everything. And, she understands the same way, that it's, you put all this money at training camp stuff, and then you get hurt and there's no payday. So she was all on board. I mean, let's do something to keep that stuff coming in and support it and everything, and not just focus on it. So yeah, I think it was just, bad experiences earlier on in the career. And then, we were kind of like-minded a little bit and just kind of talked about it, and it, we both kind of talked into fruition a little bit. And I think now these younger guys see what, James does a lot of residential real estate. I had the storage complex, so that, a little more commercial stuff. And then we got the gyms and other things that we're doing and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think they see what we have, and they want to try to follow in those footsteps, and I think it's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited down there to see, Trey going out on his own, Sharkbait going out on his own, kind of seeing these guys trying to go out and kind of create their own type of niche in the market. Even though they might be competitors or whatever, so what? They're out there trying to survive.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's the thing. There's enough room out here for everybody, and different people mesh with different personalities. So people say it's competition. I just think it's people out here spreading the stuff that I love to do already. So yeah, it works out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the promotion. Obviously, that's what we're here to talk about anyways. You guys got an event coming up next weekend. But you guys decided to hop into the game. You and JW decided to hop into the game, and kind of a very difficult time is, during COVID, all of those things. It may have been a great opportunity time also, because everybody else was kind of shut down at that point. Kind of tell me a little bit about the thoughts behind it, kind of what your experience so far has been with being a promoter.
Yeah, so I mean, I own a gym. I got guys that need to fight and compete, and last year, the last 2 years really have been so difficult dealing with stuff, with all the mandates, all the shutdowns, and everything. And we have one of the best promotions in the Midwest, really. I mean, really, honestly, in the United States, probably, that with FAC in town and stuff. But they're probably and they're good. They got this Fight Pass deal and everything, which is amazing. You can get guys on Fight Pass in this region. The problem is Fight Pass signs off on a lot of these pros. So if you get these pros that are good, but maybe they don't have the best records or whatever, they have a hard time getting fights. Or now they have to have so many pro fights. There's only limited amateur spots. So it's really. That was really the only thing in town that was running for a while, and man, I needed more opportunities. And I'm super close with all the FAC guys. I was a part of it at one point, and just kind of I decided to step away for different reasons. But it was one of those we just needed more, So I knew JW did it before and wanted to, and I thought I could step in and kind of help add some of the professionalism and stuff. And everything, and be able to provide a lot of high level fighters and stuff, and with our glory team, and that was kind of the goal. It was just we needed more fights here, and our guys needed to be able to compete. So that was the whole point of it. It had really no point of biz. I mean, obviously everything it's got to make money and it's got to be a good business move, but that's also marketing for my gym. So they go hand in hand. So yeah, it was a tough time, but we found a venue that was willing to kind of take the risk with us, and yeah, everything's going so far and going good, and trying to branch out a little bit in some other places. So yeah, excited.
What would you say has been the biggest struggle as far as being a promoter right now in this time and day and age?
Oh man, a few things. I mean, good things that everything are a lot more legit now. I mean, you've got well-trained fighters. You have the state controls everything. You know, there's no more of like just amateur-only shows and, you know, not having really a sanctioning body and stuff. So, you know, getting matchups is insanely hard. And the more and more, like, so as we grow, as our brand grows, right? So like I own a Glory Gym, right? We have the Lee Summit Gym that James runs, and then Trey just stepped up and opened another Glory location. So in Kansas City alone, we have 3 locations. So instead of like having, most guys that live in this area would train another gym, we'd have people fight. It's like we pretty much just have Glory guys everywhere. So now we have to start finding. We have to branch out more and more and more and try to get these opponents, people to step up to take fights, because they know, I mean, win or lose, like they're going to have a well-trained opponent and someone who's ready to step in there, right? Not that we win all the time, because we definitely don't, but just the opponent knows if they have someone under our banner, like they're going to be a well-prepared person, and yeah, and I mean, like we put our stamp on them for approval. So finding opponents, finding people to step up in this region is very hard. That's extremely hard. And then right now, you've got a lot more promotions trying to come back. So now it's like before there was nobody, and now it's like all these people coming back. And I just saw that, like, you know, not this one coming up, but the next one, like there's another event in town like the very next day and everything. So already having a struggle of finding opponents and finding people that's going to step up and fight. Now you got to share that with other promotions coming up and everything. And it's a little cutthroat and it's hard, but I mean, like I said, I feel like as long as we try to stay loyal to the guys who's been, you know, stepping up and fighting for us, like hopefully they do the same thing, and we try to build brands and stuff with the fighters. But
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about this card. I mean, what fights are you looking forward to on this card, and what fights should people be watching, be excited to tune in and watch?
yeah, so we have the Apex FC4 coming up next Friday on the 14th at Hy-Vee Arena. It's a really cool venue, man. Kemper Hall is, you know, Kemper is this massive arena that is this history with Kansas City, and then they switched it up a little bit. They added some basketball courts, and it's a little bit more of a rec type center, but I feel like in that basement place, man, it's a really cool vibe and different. I just really like the environment that goes on. So all the fights are fun, I feel like, in there, because you kind of, when you pull up to the place, you get this big arena feel, but then you get in, you kind of have that small little just raw feel from the environment and stuff. I really enjoy it. So main event is definitely, you know, always good. You got Zach Busha, who's fought, you know, some of the highest levels in the world, and you know, he's always willing to step up and stuff. We have an upcomer, Nick Mack, who has just been running through people. For a 1-0 pro, that guy is so hard to find a matchup for. And we have Rayvon Baxter stepping up, and that kid's got he's got good power in his hands. He's definitely a dangerous fight, and I'm really excited for that fight. Probably more than anything, of just the quality of expectations I know that Mech has, and then knowing what Baxter brings to the table. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. Ty Schrader, one of my 135 pounds, is coming back in. We're bringing a kid in from Chicago to face him, and you know, anytime he's in, he's so excited to watch, win or lose. You know, he's lost 2 straight, but he has been putting his head down, trying to fix his issues and stuff. So he's come back in, and then we just a bunch of these local kids that have been training hard and putting the work in. They just want to have their time. So the whole card, man, I feel like there's a lot of good matchups. I do my best. I know people say certain things about different promotions and everything. Like, I really do my best to try to make sure things are evenly matched and fun. I mean, one of the cards I did, I think I lost like 5 out of the 6 fights. You know, it was like I had a terrible night one night, you know, and I don't mind losing if they're getting good experience. You know, I want these guys to be able to, especially amateurs, I want them to have on-the-job training, and it's not really worth it setting them up just to pad their record and look good. Like, I want them having tough fights, and that way when they do decide to step up to that pro level, like, they've already seen a lot of this hard stuff. So I'm probably a little more harder on my guys and willing to make them have some tough fights. So yeah, it's good card top to bottom. It should be very entertaining. Like I said, the venue just brings a great vibe and experience and stuff there. So I'm just ready to get it over with and get there and enjoy the show.
And where can you get tickets at if they are in the Kansas City area and want to come out?
So all the fighters have it, and then we just basically online ticket sales is coming and go with Apex Sports ENT for Apex Sports Entertainment. So apexsportsent.com. And then also you have our link to watch the pay-per-view for MMA Futures as well. So we got you guys there streaming and putting on a great show for our pay-per-view watchers that can't be there in person and want to stream in. And I think I think you can go ahead and order pre-order the stream now. I think it's live. So go out. So if you can't make it and be there in person, if you're in the Kansas City area, make sure you check it out on MMA Futures.
Awesome, man. Hey, thanks for the promo there. It is live. I'm disappointed I'm not going to be able to be there this week. I've got another event that I've got to be at.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'll miss you. Just know that.
I'll be there next time. Hey, Zach, thanks for taking the time out today to sit down and chat with me, and hopefully we can do this more often.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for asking.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, later. Bye.
Yep.